Welcome back to Ramen on Wheels. Now, you're about to take the written exam portion of the motorcycle course test. What to expect? That's coming up next. Once you're actually enrolled in the class for your motorcycles license, you expect to get a book like this or similar like this. They'll probably update this book every few years. And the class should be no more than 8 to 12 people, depending on the season of which you're attending the class. I think my class was 2, 4, 6. So 6 of us total were in the class that I was in. And I took the class during winter, so of course not a lot of people are going to ride through the winter, so why would they take the exam during the winter? So 6 people were in my class. They gave us a book like this, and I'm going to read through some of the notes. That way I can show you and pinpoint certain things. You can pause the screen at any moment if you want to look closer or read more of the information. Also, I will have a link to this exact book in the description box below if you guys want to read through it and kind of study it and know exactly what to expect. First, the book is 78 pages, and when they give you the book, the instructor will ask you to go to page, not that the page matter at this point, but page 53 and 57, and they'll tell you basically to rip those 3 pages out. Those 3 pages have all the questions that you'll go over, and these questions, some of these questions might be in the exam, or they'll be in the exam, but they're worded differently. So let's go over those. Now, the ones that you see on the screen right now that are like highlighted, like a pinky purple color, those were questions that were exactly on the exam. I can't remember every last one, but I know those 3 or 4 were definitely on the exam. So there's 175 questions in total in this book, and you never know which question is going to be on the exam. So what they do is the instructor will pick, like, sign you guys into 3 or 4 groups, then say, hey, this group take numbers 1 through 10, this group take numbers 10 through 20, and then once you do that, find the answers for the next 30 minutes, and once you're done, the instructor come back to you and will say, oh, okay, what is the best rider position on a motorcycle? Then whoever has that answer in that group must say that answer out loud for everyone, the whole class, to hear. Now, this is where you need to pay attention, because the class is kind of boring and super easy to just zone out, right? But remember, you paid money to take this class, so focus. Listen to everything they have to say, because, okay, for 30 minutes, you guys might be going over questions and answers. Then take a 5-minute break, go to the restroom, get a drink of water, blah, 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 right? Then come back another 30 minutes and do the exact same thing. And you'll keep doing this until you reach all 175 questions. Once you reach question number 175, the instructor will say, okay, take another 5-minute break. And then when you come back, that's when the exam is going to start. There is no, you get 30 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes to study. No, it's just take a restroom break, come back, start the test. Boom. Okay, I'm going through these kind of fast, and I'm only pinpointing things that I remember specifically we talked about, and my instructor, which was a female instructor, she emphasized more than other things. So there's no guarantee these exact questions will be on your exam, but there's a strong possibility. After all, they're all right now using the same book, same information. One of the very first things that the instructor will have you go over is the controls, indicators, and equipment for a motorcycle. Now, I kind of did like a little cheat sheet and gave you guys all the answers. If you guys want to study them now, write them down, get it, boom, there you go.
This was another question that was on the exam, where it was talking about different types of bikes and specifying whether or not they were for on-road or off-road use.
So there was something called Find C. Find C stands for fuel, ignition, neutral, engine cutoff switch, and the choke. This was basically something easy for you to remember when you wanted to start or stop your engine. Find C. The best rider position, which is your back straight, your arms bent but relaxed, flat wrists.
So when you're changing lanes, you want to have these basic things in your brain, such as being able to reduce your speed, so slow down, look to where you're going, scan your area, lean or press against the motorcycle in order to shift to a new lane, and lastly, increase the throttle for a smooth transition.
A key points or key way to remember this is like your 3 S's, which is search, set up, and smooth. So you search your surroundings, you set your position, and you smoothly go into it. Yeah. Now this one, I remember, it was like a blend of 2 questions. This was in that blend. When braking at a curve, you want to gently apply both brakes as you straighten the motorcycle.
Shifting gears in order to match engine speed was something very easy to remember, so it's something that you probably want to just put in your brain real quick. It's just 3-step process: rolling off the throttle, lifting the shift lever firmly, and then easing off the clutch lever.
When it comes to preparing for a ride, this was not on the exam, but it's always something that you should need to know. So when you prepare for a ride, you need to be able to fit the motorcycle stature-wise, be able to comfortably ride the motorcycle. Your feet are not too far up or too low down on the ground. You need to make sure you inspect the motorcycle or scooter before you ride it, because you don't want to be leaking fuel or anything like that and be driving down the road. Inspect your ride before you get on it, and then make sure you properly wear your gear, your helmet, your gloves, your long pants, your shoes or boots, goggles and helmet, or glasses and helmet. All those are really key things and will be mentioned a lot. Now this was also on the exam. There was something called a 12-second anticipation distance. So you need to be able to stay as far back where you have at least 12 seconds to say, if something does happen in front of you, you have 12 seconds to assess situation and act on it. So if something happens, you need to have enough distance where you have 12 seconds to think, okay, what do I do? Do I brake? Do I swerve? All of this information. Another one is that cars have a lot of blind spots. So when riding next to a car, it's always best to ride on the left side of the car. That way you're closer to the passenger of the vehicle. So if something happens, you can catch their attention a lot better than if you were on the right side of that vehicle. I cannot tell you how serious an issue tailgating is. So that's why that was definitely on the exam. When people tailgate you, you don't always want to brake check them, especially you're on 2 wheels. Say they're not paying attention, you don't want them to hit you from behind. So another method to just straight up for your own safety is change lanes. Okay, another thing about because they will have like diagrams on the exam, not a lot, I think 1 or 2, and one of them will be about like lanes and lane positions and lane changes. And it's always important to remember that you should always, being on 2 wheels, pick a lane where you don't have to do a lot of changes. So don't get on the freeway and go to the far left lane. This was also a question that was on the exam about passengers. Passengers, they say you shouldn't, especially if you're a newbie, ride with the passengers, because you got to take in consideration the weight, the amount of weight that has to shift when you're riding on a motorcycle or a scooter. Just basically, don't drink and drive, people. If you want to stay alive, don't drink and drive. Boom. Because the far left lane in the U.S. is considered the flash lane. Now, there are motorcycles and scooters that can go as fast as that, but it's for safety reasons. Cars tend to be a lot safer than motorcycles when it comes to accidents.
If you guys want to like a little sample of what kind of questions you might see on the exam, the next little clip will be some questions, and you can kind of practice and see how you do.
my next video, I will go over the driven skills test for the motorcycle course, and I'll show you the exact 4, not questions, but course things that will be on the actual exam, and the things you want to avoid doing in order not to get points minused. Every point counts. You want to pass this thing, I can help. I can make that happen for you. No, I can't. It's all up to you in the end. But these tips will help you. If you want to see that video, it's coming up next. If you like this video, thumbs up, comment in the description box below, subscribe, and I will see you next time.